but yeah, Zoom is yours.
So Zoom is mine, and the good thing is that I have my equipment, so I have the computer on the left side and my screen in front of me with PowerPoint, so I should be able to limit the presentation and finish it within the 20 minutes. Well, first of all, thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to be virtually present. I said this many times during this conference that I'm really impressed by all the possibilities that we currently have and that you allow us to use by being able to attend this conference. And so yeah, when I wrote my abstract, I wasn't aware of the fact that this conference would be offered online. Of course, I was completely surprised by all the things that happened in the past half a year. And so I had to rewrite my abstract a little bit. And in the last few weeks, months, I also looked at it from a completely different perspective, because I think at this moment, many colleagues, many of us have become experienced online language teachers. So I had to change my abstract a little bit, and I want to focus on the aim of my presentation, because since we've all had our experiences so far with online language teaching in the past, at least in the past half a year, we might want to share our insights and best practices, and then maybe spark the discussion about future collaboration, because I think this might be the time to think about this from another point of view. Anyway, this is our university, and these are the languages that we currently have on offer. As you can see, I started off with Spanish, and then you see also Dutch, and Netherlands, and English. These are the more languages, the academic languages in the faculty programs, Dutch and English, but all the other languages are offered in the modern foreign languages, and they attract learners from our university, from the academic community, but also from abroad. And as you can see there, you have Portuguese, Italian. These languages are currently not on offer because there are simply no teachers at this moment who can teach these courses, at least not in Groningen. And this is always a challenge in the modern foreign languages department, because we do not have enough students to offer our colleagues a full-time or at least a substantial part-time position. However, if we are thinking of the target group for these kinds of courses, so I'm not aiming at the more university courses like the bachelor programs or master programs, but I'm looking at those courses that attract learners from, well, maybe the more mature learners, who are very well informed, experienced, intelligent, autonomous and independent, driven and dedicated to learn Russian, learn French, learn Dutch. So these are the learners that I have in mind. And so I'm not, in this presentation, I'm not talking about the bachelor or master students in this situation. Before March 2020, everything, the majority of our courses, of course, were the so-called on-site courses. Here you see, just to give you an impression, these courses consisted of 24 contact hours, and teachers had the possibility to spend 12 hours on preparing their classes. And this has changed, because now my colleagues in the Modern Foreign Languages department will start off next week by offering online Russian. Well, it's not called online Russian, but it's Russian. And we limited the amount of contact hours. So we only have 18 contact hours, but we increase the amount of preparation hours, because we know from the last half year that it's quite time consuming, it's exhausting to teach online. and we want to save our colleagues from illness and so on. So, this is a change in our on-site courses for the well, you can say the external market, but it's open to everybody, so not necessarily students. But since 2015, we already have a online program. We already had an online program, and we still have this online program. It's called Online Dutch. And I already mentioned this program a couple of years ago in 2016 when we attended the conference in Calabria, in Cosenza. And I already spoke a little bit about this program. And I want to more or less close this by looking back at the past 5 years and the lessons learned. As I mentioned earlier, we limited the amount of contact hours in favor of the amount of preparatory hours. But in our online Dutch course, it has more or less remained the same over the 5 years. So we have different teaching roles. We have a coordinator who looks in all different courses, and he or she gets a fixed amount of hours per course. And then we have the actual feedback time. And for instance, this is 2.5 or 2.6 or 3.0 hours per student in total per course. And these courses originated from existing on-site courses. And of course, we had to adapt the course material that we normally teach in our on-site courses to the online education, to the online situation. We focused on a flipped classroom approach. We created lots of grammar videos, pronunciation videos, etc. In our courses, we focus on the production and the interaction, and we integrated we enriched our learning environment with tools to foster synchronous and asynchronous learning, such as a multimedia block and a tandem tool. Because we had the possibility to, we collaborated in the Speak Apps project. In our online courses, we have numerous activities for individual and pair work so that students can practice. Our online courses originated from the possibility of us to establish a language MOOC on the FutureLearn platform, and we benefited from the fact that we worked with the people from FutureLearn in designing our introductory Dutch course. And based on their principles, we were able to create a similar approach for our online Dutch courses. Of course, it's a little bit different because for these courses, you get much more, it's serious business. You really need to invest time and a little bit of money in order to reach a certain level. And we have extended our course offerings over the past 5 years. And in order to get people in the right course, we managed to create a quick placement test through the C-test principles and self-assessment, so that people know what their level is, what their entrance level is, and what they want to reach. This is just to give you an impression. This is the approach that we currently have, that we still have. However, we do not have the possibility to use the Speak Apps tools any longer because that project finished a while ago. And since April 2020, Speak Apps also developed in another direction. So we're not using these tools any longer. But the good thing about having these tools is, was that we were able to make a perfect distinction between the oral production and oral interaction in an online learning setting. During the last 5 years, we saw an enormous increase of students registering for our online courses. As you can see, I stopped in 2020 in here presenting the data because of the COVID-19 crisis. And also because of the fact that SpeakApps, the collaboration with SpeakApps ended. So this is 2020 is January 2020. And in 2020, we decided not to only offer these courses 3 times a year, but even 4 times a year, because of the fact that nobody was able to attend the on-site classes any longer. Are these courses successful? For this, we have to look at the learners' performance. Do they actually perform well, and to what extent are they able to reach the level that they want to reach? It's based on continuous assessment, and the teacher plays a major role in assessing the students' level. And this is just to give you an idea of the way the final decision, the final grade is calculated. But unfortunately, although we see this increase in the number of students, we see also that we do not get that many students actually passing the course. So the average is about 51%. You see that the O-Day 3 course, which goes all the way up to intermediate, lower intermediate, upper intermediate, has a little bit higher success rate, but overall it's not that high. If we look at the course statistics, the course analytics from Blackboard, we can say a little bit more. Here, for instance, you see a course report of the average amount of hours spent per student in the runs in October. And in the blue column, you see those students that actually finished the course successfully in these, well, in only just 2 courses. And you can see that these students spent quite a number of hours in Blackboard. But then again, what actually do they do? I mean, it could well be that they practice in addition to the main course content, that they use the tools that we give them to use, but it could well be that they do completely other things, just doing something else or practicing with their neighbors. So it doesn't really say a lot, unfortunately. But if we think of this, then one of the first questions that pops up is what can we do to increase the pass rate? Of course, we can do something about the expectation management. We can focus more on the community building. We can also put more emphasis on motivating our learners, and we can of course change the weekly assignments, the course fee, for instance, even the teachers, but it's not all clear to us. So what do our learners say? It's important to also look into the survey, the data from our surveys. This is a typical learner. Anna, for instance, is from Spain. She currently lives in the Netherlands, and therefore she would like to learn the language. She has a full-time job, and well, she doesn't have a lot of time, so she probably likes the flexibility in our online course. If we first look at a possible room for improvement, that is what we got out of our surveys, is that some people say, well, extend the course period. It's now only 8 weeks, and it's 8 to 10 hours per week, which is quite a lot. So maybe you want to extend the course period. And in addition to this, offer more interactive sessions with the teacher and interaction with fellow learners. And organize plenary live sessions about grammar, for instance. We do not do this because we want our students to learn this, study this independently. Okay, then we move on to the most positive things about the course. This is also what we got out of the survey. They like the teachers. Teachers are very supportive, patient, available, engaging. They liked the fact that they were able to meet students from all around the world. So there was this community aspect. They liked the content. It was well structured. It was comprehensive with a variety of learning materials and so on. And they liked the tasks. Okay, but this is from the individual data. If we look at the expectation management that I just mentioned, we got these grades out of 10, which is quite positive. So they liked the information prior to the course, and they also were able to access the university's LMS. During the course, they noticed that their starting level was right for the course. It met their expectations. There was a good balance between written and spoken production, and so on. So it's overall, it's not that bad. The students did not always find the tools useful. If you look at Tandem and video chat, these are the tools that were offered in the SpeakUps project to facilitate this independent learning. Pair learning, they did not always like this that much. This is interesting because we might want to do something else. So during the course, teachers kept the group active, but we might want to get our group more active. The course was well structured, and the overall course mark was 8.1. So now, since March 2020, we are very happy with our university, happier than ever before, because thanks to the educational services department, our IT people, we have more possibilities than ever before. Here you see Google Meet, there you see Blackboard Collaborate. We have Poll Everywhere, Feedback Fruits, Train Tool, all kinds of tools that up to January 2020 were not available to us. So this gives us room to think ahead of changing our courses and maybe looking into the data again to serve our students even better, and hopefully increase the pass rate. So this was the reason why I wanted to give this presentation, because I think if you look at the MOOC platforms such as FutureLearn, for instance, you can see many language MOOCs nowadays. You can learn Norwegian, at least the introduction, Korean, Chinese, Dutch, and so on. These courses might have a little bit of teacher support, but not as much as we can offer in our courses. We have had our evaluations, our own experience so far, our lessons learned, and the research. And it might be a time to think about setting up some things of online collaboration. And I think this would be especially useful for the lesser commonly taught languages. I mean, in our situation, that would be Portuguese, that would be Russian, that would be Japanese. But in your situation, that could well be Dutch or German, for instance. This is something I believe we can discuss, at least here, or otherwise we can set up a Google Meet meeting in the near future. Here you see my email address. I want to thank you for attending my presentation, and let's have a quick discussion to share to hear more about your experiences and to see what kind of possibilities there are for future collaboration.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Jeroen. And now time for your questions. Please, Jeroen, let me know if you can hear the questions. If not, I will rephrase it for you. So please. Any questions? Okay, yes.
I will have a question concerning not students, but the teachers. How were teachers supported by the school management during the COVID time in terms of technical equipment and also motivation to work from home, because it is really demanding to rearrange the on-site course to online course. And it's real time consuming, so probably everyone knows what I'm talking about. So what kind of support the university management provided the teachers with?
Okay. Jeroen, could you hear the question or not?
Yeah. So in our existing situation, so these online Dutch courses, nothing has changed really, because we have a number of teachers, 15 teachers so far, who are very experienced in teaching from home using their equipment, and they are well trained. About my other colleagues and myself, we got the support from our university in attending webinars, in lots of webinars about structuring your online course, how to use Blackboard, Collaborate, and so on. And we also have a little bit of funding to invest in our equipment at home, to get a good headset or a webcam or these kinds of things. And as you can see early in my presentation, from our language center management, it was decided, it was seen that we couldn't continue the way we would normally offer our courses. So at first, in March, we had to change from on-site to online courses, and then actually nothing changed, but the environment changed. But now, from September onwards, we are well aware of the fact that we need to benefit more from the fact that we can use this equipment, these tools, these applications, and that it is very time consuming to sit behind your computer for, let's say, 4 hours. That's simply not workable not from a teacher's perspective, but also not from a student perspective. So things have changed and have been facilitated.
Thank you.
Any other?
There's a question on the screen.
Yeah, I know. Yes. The question from YouTube from Susanna Kohonen. How would you structure the teacher presence into language MOOCs?
In language MOOCs, the teacher presence in language MOOCs. That's a interesting question, because it depends on the time you would like to invest as an organization in serving free or serving learners from around the world who attend your courses for free. In our Introduction to Dutch language MOOC, we have our colleagues attending the free week course every day in order to answer questions, give feedback on writing assignments, and so on. And then we have in total 21 hours to help our students. It's not that much, of course, but it's because of money.
Okay. Any questions from here in Brno? There is one more question online. Why did you choose to still include 18 conduct hours and not even fewer hours instead of 24?
Yeah, that's a good question. So in our normal courses, the courses for Russian, for instance, that will start from September, from next week, we decided to have 12 sessions of 1.5 hours. And these are the actual teaching hours. But the teacher can spend additional hours for social activities with the students, or teach a little bit about grammar, have a live webinar about grammatical issues, but that's up to the teacher. But we decided to have these 18 hours for actual teaching time, or time for students to meet with the teacher and to do all kinds of activities with the teacher.
Okay, thank you. Questions, remarks? Maybe one question from me. You mentioned that the percentage of students who pass your courses is about 50%. Mm-hmm. Do you have any comparison with, let's say, normal courses? Which that's a good question. So far, if I were to have, if I were to be able to make a comparison, I would have done this. Unfortunately, at this moment, I don't have these data, but it was something that surprised me as well, because from a organizational point of view, you can say that these courses are quite successful, but and maybe they are, because we do not know, of course. I mean, if a student passes the course or not, or reaches the level, does not necessarily depend on us. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's very difficult.
Yes, indeed. Okay.
No, but yeah.
No, I get it. Any other questions? I'd be interested in one more thing. You mentioned continuous assessment, that your course is based on the continuous assessment.
Yeah.
45% of this depends on synchronous lessons. What do you assess there exactly in the lessons?
So from the lowest level onwards, all synchronous sessions are in the target language, and the topics are given prior to the synchronous sessions, so students can prepare themselves properly. We listen to various things. Every topic is, of course, related to what they could have studied. And we assess their overall performance in using the language, in their interacting skills, vocabulary, grammar. And as you saw, it's graded by insufficient, sufficient, good, excellent. So there's not much room for discussion in this way. But we give a lot of feedback. The teacher makes notes on the spot during this synchronous session, and this feedback is distributed afterwards, so that students can see their mistakes, learn from it, and improve. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. The time is over now, also thank you, Jeroen.
You're welcome. Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you very much. Greetings from Brno to Groningen, and good luck with your course. Thank you. 5 minutes break, and then we go on with German, finally. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. It seems that it worked. You heard everything, no problems, even the stream worked, so thank you.